Hi, I'm Kristen from Hammock Haven Farm, and today we're going to do goat yogurt, and I'm going to real quick throw in a little thing about buttermilk. I'm not going to show you that process because it's just so easy you don't even need to, have a video about it. So last night I made some buttermilk. I'm going to make a buttermilk cucumber soup today, and to do this I just took a half-gallon plain milk. I put it in a water bath to get it up to about 85 degrees. Then I took one of these buttermilk packets, I dumped it in there, shook it up, put one of these lids on just lightly, not tightened down, and left it overnight. And as you can see, hopefully, we've got really nice, thick, yummy buttermilk. So, yeah, I'm going to put that in the fridge now and use that for my soup for dinner. Okay, now yogurt is not that much harder. I'm going to do it with my Instant Pot right now. This has just been the easiest way. I've had a yogurt maker in the past. I have done it in the past where I put the yogurt into the oven with the door cracked and the oven light on, and that actually holds at a good temperature to do your yogurt. This is just so much easier. So with this, and you got to have one of these that has a yogurt function, you're just going to dump your milk in. And put the lid on, but leave the venting open. I'm doing this backwards so you can see. Leave the venting open, and then come down here to your yogurt function and hit adjust until it says boil. And then just leave it. It'll beep when it's finished, and we'll go on to the next part there. While we're working on that, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're using as cultures. I've tried many different kinds of freeze-dried cultures, and I just find out with the yogurt that it just comes out so thin that even when I go to drain it, it just wants to go right through the cheesecloth or the strainer or anything. Speaking of, let me pull the strainer out. I want you to see this. I should have had this out already. I got this thing on cheesebaking.com. I think it was about 35 bucks there, and I was very disappointed when I first got it and I was using these kind of cultures, because you would pour your completed yogurt in and it would literally go all the way through this mesh. So see, this has got like a little mesh insert thing, and then it catches the whey here. Looks like I've torn my mesh a little bit in that place. Should be fine. You don't need this. You can drain it through a colander with cheesecloth. Sometimes you want to double up that cheesecloth. It's just harder to scrape your finished yogurt out of there than out of this. So you'll see this when we finish up tomorrow. So after I tried the freeze-dried cultures, I started getting a bunch of different kinds of yogurt at the grocery store with live cultures in it. And I mean, I tried so many brands, but I wanted a thicker yogurt, and I don't like this drinking yogurt stuff. So finally, I picked up one of these. It's Siggi's Icelandic style. This has made absolutely the best tasting yogurt. It's got several different kinds of cultures, more than usual yogurt does. Maybe that's why, but it works great. So we're going to use this to inoculate our batch. You don't have to buy this every single time. I have so far recultured this 2 times with success. I've never tried to go farther than that, but what I mean by that is I use this as a culture in the first batch, then I take this batch to do the next batch, then I take the next batch to do the next batch. And so the third batch down was still as good as the first batch. I'm afraid to take it much farther than that, so I went and bought another one of these. That's it for now. We'll be back when this has gotten to boil. Actually, it's a little misleading. It doesn't actually boil it. It brings it up to about 186 degrees, which is where you want your yogurt to be. That changes the proteins in your yogurt. I know some people say they want to do a raw milk yogurt. That's not really yogurt. Yogurt is heated up. It just changes those proteins, changes the flavor. So anyway, we're going to let this get to its 186 degrees, and then we'll be back. This thing's beeped now, which means it's gotten to temperature. So I'm just going to take the lid off of it, pick it up, and I've got a cool water bath. Ooh, it's kind of hot. Let me get some hot holders. I've got a cool water bath over here in the sink. So I'm going to set it down in there and let it get to about 100, between 100 and 110 degrees. I don't use a thermometer here, I just kind of wing it. So that'll take, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll add the culture. Back soon. It's been about 10 minutes. While it was in there, I kind of swirled the water around to make sure that the cold water stayed next to the pot, stirred the milk a little bit. Before I took it out, that skin that forms on the top, I took that off and threw that away. That can make your yogurt a little lumpy. It's not going to hurt anything. Just if you want a smooth yogurt, I kind of throw that out. Now take your starter culture. If you can't find this brand, experiment with other brands that you've got there that work. But I did notice, or what I said before, is this one has a lot more different live cultures, and I don't even know if that'll pick up, but it's got 4 or 5 different, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different kinds of culture in there. So I'm just going to take a big heaping tablespoon of it, that's all you need, and work that into your milk until it's not lumpy anymore. I suppose you could whisk it in, but this seems to work fine. A couple little bits still. Break up. Okay, once that's mixed in there, put your lid back on. Oh, I also dumped the condensation out of the top of the lid because I don't want to be dumping that water back into the milk. Leave the venting one open, and you're going to come back down to here and press yogurt again, and then hit the adjust button until it says 8 hours, and that's what I usually do mine for, culture mine for, and it will beep at me when the 8 hours is up, so we'll check it then. It's night now. It's been 8 hours and I'm ready for bed. Let's get this stuff draining. Okay, as you see, it's set up nicely. You see that? I'm going to pour this into my strainer here. And sometimes when you first pour it in, a bit of it will go through before you, before it starts to catch. You'll see, I'll show you what I mean. Splashing everywhere. Let's scrape this out. So at the very first, you see a bit of the yogurt starts to come through, not just the whey. So on this thing, if you then take it and pour it back in, next time around it'll just be the whey. Some of the thicker bits will get it, kind of the bigger holes stopped up, I guess. So I'm just going to pour that back through. And then this goes in the refrigerator. And you, at least overnight. If you drain it for 2 days, it gets nice and thick. So we'll check it tomorrow and see where we're at. It's the next day now, and I've only drained this for about a little less than 24 hours. You could drain it longer if you wanted to. You can see here all of this whey. Let me pull this up here so can you see? Drained off of this, and we're left with a nice thick yogurt. So I'm going to use a soft spatula to gently just take that out of there. And if you wanted to now, you could stir it up just to make sure it's not lumpy at all, but this is just for our use. So I'm just going to scrape that out. I'll be more picky at the end of the video here. There we go. And there you are. homemade goat milk yogurt from the Instant Pot. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Click that button down there, and if you want to click the bell, that way you'll know when we have a new video out. Thank you.